Kurumzare, ELITETV, Emil Bokutumu Hamiltara Moksiri. Basi kuna project ba special talk ki guest asi ate kana sunate apoi Mr. Ar.Sandeepsingh R.Sisodia, Executive Dean, GUNI-FADP ni. Mana Manipur da karegi laiba, aduga kari pami bhabdu mayam da koi maga exclusive interview da takjage. Welcome to Manipur.
Kurumzare.
So is it your first visit in Manipur, Mr. Sandeep?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is my first visit, and I'm glad I came. It's a beautiful city that you have.
Okay, how do you feel?
I feel elated, beautiful place, very clear skies, and wish I could spend more time.
Okay. Now you are representing Ganpati University, which was established with a unique motto of social upliftment through education. How does that define that campus culture today? And give me a bit of information about the university and what makes it tick.
Very interesting question. A lot of people ask us why we have the motto social upliftment through education. I'll give you a bit of history of the university. We were established as a university in 2005, though the campus is older. We started our first institutions back in 1996. So by the Ganpati University Act number 19 of the state government of Gujarat, we became a university. And since the last 20 plus years, we have been working on the same motto, Vidyaye Samaj Utkarsh, which is in Sanskrit and means social upliftment through education, as you said. The idea was to establish a university in a place that does not have a lot of opportunities, or at least did not have a lot of opportunities before we were established as a university. It is in a peri-urban area, kind of a rural area, if you might. And not a lot of big institutions with goals of academic standards that are nationally and internationally renowned were ever established there historically. Our founders are essentially people from the district of Mehsana who started the Mehsana District Education Foundation. On that basis, they decided that there should be a university here of the people, for the people and by the people. The intention was to ensure that there are no barriers to higher education for people from any kind of background, which is now reflected in 2025-2026, where we have a number of students pan-India. We have international students coming to our campus, mingling with the people from the community, and that creates a truly cosmopolitan ecosystem. Now, what makes it tick? We are a multidisciplinary university campus. That is very rare in a peri-urban ecosystem. The examples that are nationally famous, you can probably talk about Bich Pilani, which started in a small village and eventually it gained traction throughout the country. We work on a philosophy which talks about academics first, students first, and character must. Now that is something that has been ingrained in our philosophy. If a student is going to become a good professional, will have a robust career in the future, and we wish for all students to have that. It is equally, or probably more important, to have a good character. And if we can ingrain that into a student, nothing better for any kind of a country to flourish in the long run. And that is why these mottos, with the idea of upliftment through education, which is the best and the most long-lasting way to ensure progress, that is what is now the heart of the university.
Okay. Now my question is, to students of Manipur looking to study outside the state, what are the benefits of choosing, Ganpati University over the stalwarts in higher education today?
Yeah, so we have a lot of students from the northeast coming to our campus, including Manipur. And the reason why is, one of the reasons as I explained earlier, is that our philosophy is very clear. Higher education with the quality of character development and ensuring that there is no barrier for the student, whether it be economical or any kind of socio-political or geographical barrier to the student. Anybody and everybody is welcome to the campus. We are a 300 plus acre campus. In fact, we have our own pin code. So you can say that we have a small township. The township is called Ganpat Vidyanagar. So it's a town for education. And because it's a multidisciplinary campus, there are over 15 different faculties under which there are multiple institutions which are teaching nearly 20,000 students on campus. There are various kinds of opportunities that are offered to students pan-India, including various kinds of scholarships and fellowships. Meritorious students have a lot of opportunities. I'll give you a very clear example about architecture, design and planning. We have an interesting module called GUNI. Now GUNI is Ganpati University. GUNI AHEAD. AHEAD is also an abbreviation. AHEAD means Atmanirbhar Higher Education in Architecture and Design, or Self-Reliant Higher Education in Architecture and Design. What that means is, to the top 5% of the first year students, we offer the GUNI AHEAD model. We also have consultancy, so we do a lot of projects for the campus enhancement. We do a lot of projects that are for private and public stakeholders outside the university, including municipal corporations, planning departments and whatnot. There, these students, these top 5%, the cream students, meritoriously only, no other barrier, they are invited. For a few hours each week, they work on these projects. Essentially, what they are getting is real world experience. It is as good as an internship. Now, mind you, we have an internship as part of the program anyway. It is a fully paid semester-long internship, and it is mandated as part of the curriculum graduating requirements for both the architecture and the design programs and all our specializations. Beyond that, these 5% students get that kind of exposure that normally a mid-level or mid-tier senior architect or a designer out in the field will get. You can just imagine the kind of portfolio that student will have once he or she graduates. Additionally, this is also a scholarship. So they can get up to 50% of their tuition fee refunded as part of this program. So it is not just a kind of opportunity for professional development, but it is also an opportunity to actually become self-reliant, reduce the economic pressure at home, simply through working hard, being a good academic student. So this is a very clear example of the kind of scholarships that we offer. In fact, being a cosmopolitan culture, especially in architecture, design or marine or engineering or any of our ecosystems, frankly, it's that because people from every other state of the country are already there, it is a very comfortable situation. It is not a kind of equation where there are just random groups that are forming and people don't feel ostracized in the ecosystem. In fact, I am also not necessarily from Gujarat, but that shows that we are doing a lot of things that are bringing people from all over the country and from other international destinations also to the campus. So Manipur students, of course, are very welcome. I have students from Manipur and they are very, very happy with the ecosystem. We talk a lot, they have gelled very well. In fact, some of them are learning Gujarati and just keep on telling me different kinds of slangs in Gujarati, which is telling you about their comfort.
Okay. And Craig, you are mentioning very much about your campus and everything. No, you mentioned about degree program in architecture and design. Can you elaborate on these offerings by the Ganpati University?
Yes, so architecture is a 5-year Bachelor of B.Arch program. Essentially, it's a Bachelor of Architecture program that is approved by the Council of Architecture India. It's a robust full-time program, 10 semesters long. It includes, as I said, 1 semester of internship. This allows you to actually register as an architect in the country. I'm a registered architect, which means that I went through a rigorous education of 5 years. I had to then go to the Council of Architecture, send my details and my qualifications to them. They granted me the title of architect. So in front of my name as a prefix, like people who go through medicine, they can add DR.
Wow.
I can add AR.
Okay, very nice.
And that allows me to practice architecture throughout the country, in all states. I can sign and stamp papers in my name because I have been authorized by the Council of Architecture to practice as an architect. That's a big responsibility, and that is why the education is extremely rigorous. In design, we have multiple specializations. So the program is Bachelor of Design. One of our biggest flagship courses there is Interior Design. Now we have merged it very successfully with the furniture design background. So the overall course is again very rigorous. It has a lot of opportunity for students to eventually become either interior designers or furniture designers, or go on to become much better, robust kind of individuals who are not just practicing interior design or furniture design, but they are doing really well in any kind of decor or design environment. Apart from interior design, we are also offering specializations in product design. That's a very big domain. Now we have a lot of experts from different areas, and we are also located in a very design centric or a kind of a very saturated environment, but saturated in a good way. So we have some very good schools to look up to, and that is giving us the rigor to actually make a very robust program. We have the National Institute of Design as our neighbor. A lot of their experts actually come in and take our juries and whatnot. We have SEPT University, we have Anand, and so many that are around us. And we ensure that our students give them good competition, tough competition. We have another specialization in graphics and visual communication.
Okay.
So you might have heard about communication design, you would have heard about graphic design. So a larger offering which talks about graphics in everyday life, talks about environmental graphics, talks about graphic design as a major profession in the future. And not just a physical entity but also in a digital domain. So there's a whole rigmarole of different kinds of courses that make it an all-encompassing course. So we have a number of seats in both architecture and design. Now, if you want to get into an architecture program, so there is a national test. It is called the National Aptitude Test in Architecture, or NATA for short. And there's a website, www.nata.in, where the students can get all the information. Apart from that, people who go through JEE Mains Paper 2 are also eligible for architecture programs. Beyond that, in design, we offer direct admissions to students who go through UCET, who clear the NID examination. Our admission process earlier was also through a design aptitude test. We found that that is not a good psychometric evaluation for students. So now we go through a portfolio and then we take an interview. And only those students are then selected to go ahead, and then they might give their preferences. But we do tell them you are actually good for, say, interior design, or you are better as a graphic design student or as a product design student. So that helps us also gauge the students' capacity and also build our resources in a similar way. And this is also supported by so many ecosystems that are already existing within the university. We have the National Additive Manufacturing Center for the entire western region of India, which is on our campus. And we, of course, are going to build satellite campuses, satellite centers in so many other states around us. But that entire center is giving 3D printing or prototyping subsidy to all students on campus. And as you know, design and architecture students anyway have a lot of prototyping to do. So because it is free of cost, any student can make use of that facility. We have incubation centers that allow students to actually come up with IPs or intellectual properties that can either be patented or taken forward as some kind of copyrights. And we completely support the student through various policies, not just government policies, but our own policies, where students get a lot of funding, they get a lot of free of cost advice, not just advice, but actually office spaces. They get advisors from venture capitalists to actually ensure that the product that is coming out is market ready. So this whole ecosystem is also making students into more robust professionals who understand that something has to be built, there has to be an outcome.
Okay, now I have to ask regarding the, what is the real world scope for, architecture design today and in the future in India? Tell us a bit about the job market.
Great question. People don't really understand the whole scope of architecture and design. See, we are sitting in a studio, right? This has been done by some interior designer or architect, which means our lives are entirely governed by architects and designers, from the smallest detail to the largest planning or urban ecosystem. There is a major real estate scope for architects and designers. It's a big billion-dollar industry, which is soon going to be a trillion-dollar industry in India. I'm talking about not just 2050 or 2100, talking about 2030.
Okay. Yeah.
There is a larger scope for students who become architects and interior designers in the next 5 years than there has ever been in the last 2 decades. That is simply because there is a lot of progress going on in terms of building and the construction industry in India. But more so because now technology is constantly changing. So the kind of courses that we teach that also allow students to learn from the past and also delve into technologies that are future ready. Say, we have an AI-enabled ecosystem. So students readily use a lot of AI tools, including, and the teachers like us, we also teach with a lot of AI tools. We have, because we have a multidisciplinary campus, we offer wonderful transdisciplinary electives. So say you are an architecture student or a design student and you want to learn about, say, banking and finance. We have an open elective for that. That is actually being taught by a banking and financial professional or a professor in that domain. We are teaching urban farming, we are teaching recycling, we are teaching various kinds of focus areas in, say, entrepreneurship skills. So that becomes a core course. Now all of that put together makes a very strong professional, and they are actually very much in demand. We have a 100% placement record. Any student who wants to go for placement is thoroughly placed in any part of India. And our students are in some of the best firms of architecture and design in India. Whether you name HCP or you name HPA or you name Sangat, CP Kukreja Architecture, students have interned in amazing places, they are placed in amazing places. Many of our students are actually practicing. So they have huge turnovers. They are doing a lot of interior design, product design and architecture projects. They are taking big commissions in graphics and environmental design. So there's a lot that's actually going on. In fact, a lot of students also go for higher education abroad. Till date, any student who has opted for higher education has always got it. There is no exception. And this I'm talking about for more than 10 years we have been an institution. That is really saying something about the kind of opportunities that are there in the market, that are there in foreign destinations, and what we can also support very strongly. We, in fact, most of us have international qualifications. We have also worked abroad, we have studied abroad. So we bring that to the table. And that kind of makes an ecosystem that is overall a very strong, well-knit ecosystem. So there are no lapses, there is no casual approach to anything.
Okay. In fact, you have mentioned already about your ecosystem campus of your university.
Yeah.
But I would like to know about share with us a glimpse of what a student would experience on a daily basis while studying at the Manipur University.
This is interesting because I actually asked a student what you do. A few days back, I was just moving inside the studio, and one of the students, because we have a 24/7 campus, and many of us actually work a little late just to ensure a few things are well in place for the students. So I moved into a studio. A few students were there. They were burning the midnight oil, actually working very hard. They had their own nice ecosystem place there. So I was just asking them what they were doing throughout the day, and because we know each student by name. And incidentally, that was Carlos. Carlos is a student from Manipur. He is from this region. And he was telling me, sir, I'm going to go for dinner in half an hour. And then I'm going to come back. I said, it's already 7. What are you going to do after that? I'm going to stay till 12. I can only think about design after 8 p.m. Otherwise, my mind doesn't work. So we have that supportive ecosystem. Now it is overall the campus is very secure because we have a very clear-cut security system in place along with some wonderful professionals who are handling that. It's very much a residential campus as well. We have over 6,500, 7,000 students living on campus. That includes boys and girls both. So a typical student would essentially start their morning at say 7:30 or 8. Our classes begin at 8:30 in the morning. They go on well up to 2:30. During that time, of course, there's a break and students get that opportunity to mingle with their peers. In the evenings, most of the students either use our wonderful sports academy, which is the Vikram Neil Sports Academy. We have a national level ecosystem there. So from 50-meter pools to a proper Khel Mahakumbh ecosystem with a lot of indoor and outdoor sports. We have a dedicated cricket ground, we have a dedicated soccer field, we have a dedicated athletics track. And some of the students are actually part of national teams, Indian national teams.
Okay.
And we are actually training them on campus. So we have some amazing trainers. So students have a lot to do there. Beyond that, we have some wonderful eating spaces, food joints. Because it's a little way away from the city, students should not feel out of place. They should feel that they are in nature, but they are still connected to the urban environment. So we've created a lot of spots like that. So there are a lot of big players now on campus that are actually having their own food ecosystems, and of course late night coffee is always available. Beyond that, a lot of students actually study in libraries. So the many libraries are actually open till late at night. Our entire campus, as I said, is 24/7 open. So all our studios are constantly open. It's well monitored, and students do come up with a lot of good outcomes at the end of the day. So for a student, there is no limitation. They can actually go to another institution also. Because it's a multidisciplinary environment, we offer a lot of interdisciplinary courses. As I mentioned about, say, urban farming or banking and finance, for example. They have friends in other institutions. They make friends, in fact. And many of them actually come up with startup ideas together with other institutions. In fact, one of our students is working with a pharmacy student in creating something interesting that is going to help medical patients and infant medical patients. Now that is a real impact of design in real life on the tiniest human possible. And that is probably only possible in such ecosystems that allow for this intermingling.
Okay, in fact, you have already mentioned about the scholarship. I'd like to go in depth about are there any interesting scholarship or specialized offering by GUNI-FADP University and especially by the Faculty of Architecture, Design, Planning for meritorious students?
Yes, as I mentioned about the GUNI-AHEAD scholarship, which is purely only for meritorious students. You be in the top 5% of the entire class and you are welcome. It is on up till the final year. So as long as the student takes to graduate, normally meritorious students graduate in the whole duration of 5 years or 4 years, because the architecture program is 5 years long and the design program is 4 years long. Apart from that, the university also offers a tuition fee waiver scheme for students who are meritorious but are coming from financially challenging backgrounds. So it is limited to 1 student per batch, but that is a very prestigious scholarship, because that is not given to anybody. So there's a rigorous process that is behind it. Apart from that, the institution has a very interesting framework. On the Vidya Shilpi Divas, which is April 12th, which is our founding day, all staff and faculty of Ganpat University, they give their 1 day's salary as part of the employee fund for helping students who have various kinds of challenges or who suffer from some kind of financial barriers. So now that is a real input of the faculty apart from academia into the child's future. And every year there is a lot of fund that is actually given out to students in these situations. Of course, government schemes are always available. And we also have robust ecosystems like skill certifications. So we have a wonderful skilling ecosystem. We have a faculty of skill development, in fact, and over 10,000 students have been skilled till date. That is apart from our 20,000 students who are full-time scholars. Now we have gone through various schemes like EDU, GKY or PMKVY, Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. In fact, we are undergoing a current job role, which is Assistant Interior Designer, under the Mukhyamantri Bhavishya Lakshi Kaushal Vikas Yojana, which is right now specific to the students of Gujarat. But we also have a scheme under PMKVY for interior design and other students. So there's always a roll on for any kind of skill certification. In fact, a lot of our courses have now been certified by the National Skill Development Corporation, and they are now part of our regular curriculum. So not only do the students learn that bit, but they also go through a job role process through which they actually get certified by NSDC and Manipur University together. In fact, we are a center of excellence notified by the government of Gujarat, which is very few in the state. And given that we have very good, kind of relationships with the industry, with the governments at the central and the state level, they always choose us for any kind of academic standing that has to be given to the students. In fact, our Honorable Group Pro-Chancellor, Sir Dr. Mahendra Sharma, he has a very interesting vision. Industry in university and university in industry. And that is why we have a number of centers of excellence as part of our overall ecosystem. Whether you call it an IBM ecosystem or a COE that is talking about Bosch, Rexroth. We have again the 3D printing, NAMCW also has its own COE because it is a nationally certified center of excellence. We have MOUs and collaborations with Tata Motors, both passenger vehicles and commercial vehicles. We are actually training Tata Motor personnel, skilling them for furthering their own job roles. Additionally, we have Maruti Suzuki Japan India Institute of Manufacturing. Now that is one of the first in the country, actually the first in the country, which took place back in 2014. In fact, we are teaching manufacturing to students by actually manufacturing 4 vehicles every month, 4 Maruti Suzuki cars. And that is a proper production line where students get ITI training. They also they are getting ready for diploma, a huge diploma ecosystem. A lot of it is actually highly funded by small agencies, but it's also funded by government opportunities. It is funded by various kinds of charitable organizations. And overall, the fee ecosystem is not very high because we started as a philanthropic organization. It is We don't, it's not a private university owned by anybody. It's a trust, and the trust has multiple trustees, which ensures that academics are always first, and there are no barriers that will not allow students to go through education. So we are always open to new scholarships. We are always coming up with ideas to ensure students get more for the buck that they're putting in. That makes sense.
Okay. In fact, I'd like to know regarding architecture and design. Are changing rapidly with climate change. Does your design curriculum at the university cover sustainability or cover sustainability?
It's a great question for the hour. We are going through some really troubling climate, and it was bound to happen anyway, but we have fast-tracked it. We have accelerated the pace of climate change, and now we are suffering. Right? See, in the last few years, there have been so many landslide incidents that were not normal, say, a decade ago. We are looking at environment in a very robust way. I'm not just talking about architecture design. I'm talking about the university as a whole. We are a platinum-rated green campus. In fact, we have a student-tree ratio. Now, have you ever heard of a student-tree ratio? For every student, there are supposed to be 5 trees planted. We have over 100,000, 1 lakh trees on campus, and that's a documented number. There are others that are being planted rapidly. So, say about 20,000 odd students, that's a 1:5 student-to-tree ratio. And we're going to maintain it for long. We in fact have a very clear-cut plan of water channel systems. We have proper rainwater harvesting systems. In fact, 60% of our academic and administrative load is being taken by renewable sources like solar power and geothermal and wind. In fact, we have an energy innovation center as part of our Center for Advanced Research Studies. So it is another center that is being established as a renewable energy focused environment. For architecture, design and planning, we are very strongly focusing on the sustainable development goals that have been defined by the United Nations. In fact, I just finished a book on embedding the UN SDGs into our curriculum. So not only have we mapped the UN SDGs as part of the curriculum, but we have also made a comparative snapshot with 15 international institutions and 7 national institutions in that area. Even I was surprised when I was mapping it, because there are certain goals, like goal number 11, which is talking about sustainable cities and communities. It would directly link with all our design and architecture programs. Now, the kind of frequency that we see of that kind of SDG appearing in our courses is 73%, which is far higher than you would understand in terms of the national average. Beyond that, there are others like responsible production, consumption, climate action. All these goals are very strongly covered in our curriculum. In fact, I've also defined a roadmap. There are 8 ways of operating which will ensure that our overall ecosystem, our academic ecosystem, will train architects and designers who are practicing sustainability with 100% success rate. And that is very important. We have field practitioners who are involved with the Indian Green Building Council. We are also institutional members with IGBC. We are institutional members with the Indian Institute of Architects, the Institute of Indian Interior Designers. So we are nationally connected with people who are really working on sustainability. A lot of these practices are hiring our students, which goes to show that sustainability is not just a word for us. Right from the first year, it forms part of their design briefs. It forms part of their curriculum. We are not just teaching climatology, but there are whole studios, which is a major chunk of the week for a student. They have to go through sustainability as part of their overall design process. So they are robust in a certain way. Even the way we are operating, we are trying to keep our carbon footprint as less as possible. We are ensuring that we are moving in ways that are more pedestrian friendly. We are ensuring that there is more foot traffic, less vehicular traffic inside the ecosystem. We are focusing on electric vehicle mobilities. We are ensuring that more people travel through public ecosystem. So all that essentially talks about sustainability at a grassroots level, which is most important. And that is not just academic curriculum, that is now our way of life at GUNI. So architecture and design, of course, has to lead the way.
Okay, this is very interesting. The last question from my side, what is your purpose to visit in Manipur? At the end, you can some message to the people of Manipur why you have come here and what you like to say here to the people of Manipur.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk to people in Manipur. The reason why I'm here, the reason why my team is also here, we understand that architecture and design is something that not a lot of people know about. In fact, they don't even know that such courses exist, and if they do, they don't know how to get into such courses. You should know some eligibility criteria. Like today, we spoke to a number of students and parents who did not understand. We had to tell them to join architecture, you need to go through PCM. 10+2, you have to have mathematics. If you're doing diploma, you have to have mathematics as a core course. And you need a minimum percentage, you need to go through those competitive examinations. Only then, and then once you are a student, you're actually registered as a student with the council also. So once you graduate, you then become a registered architect. But this whole process, nobody really knows. They don't know what kind of exams they have to go through. In fact, design. Now, people look at design in a way that it is very casual. It's not. It's a very rigorous program. And only institutions and people like me who are really into the program would actually be able to solve those questions, those tricky questions. Anybody can come in and say, okay, let's do design because it will pay well. Nobody really says that there is no actual ceiling for earning in design and architecture, but it is actually more responsible as a profession. One must be really in tune because, see, 99.9% of the time, as my colleague likes to say, 99.9% of the time we are not designing for ourselves. We are designing for somebody else. Gigi, I might design your house. It's not my house, but I have to think about it. I have to understand your perspective. I have to understand your family life. I have to understand your overall professional career, what your goals are, what your kids want to do. And only then can I actually deliver a good house to you. And being an architect, I might be also able to do interior design. With experience that comes in. My interior designer would actually come in and say, I can do a better design approach for you. I can take a better approach. And that is what architecture and design is all about. That's the smallest thing, like this badge here, this has a magnet. Now this makes it non-intrusive. This will not put a hole in my jacket. So it's not like a lapel pin. It will not allow you to see what it is actually hung on. Isn't this good design? It's good design. This pen that you're using, anything that the one that you're holding right now, in fact, it has to be anthropometrically designed, it has to be ergonomically designed. All of that is architecture and design. What you're wearing, where you're sitting on, the wristwatch that you're wearing, your lapel place, in fact, the glasses that you're wearing. It should not just frame your face, but it should give you the right kind of quality. Design is everywhere. And people take it lightly. It's a big responsibility. That is why we are going to various parts of the country, including Manipur, to tell people that, there's so much that you can do. And we're here to support you. We can help you build that kind of a rigor. So that is our main purpose of actually coming to Manipur. And it's great to be here, frankly. It's a very beautiful place.
Okay, thank you for coming to Manipur, and you have given me the opportunity to have a chat with you on your visit. And wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
So, we have Sandeep Singh, architect, University, architect on the design, henna details of coming so like my contact number, email address, website, contact or architect design issue, I'm not labor, marine engineering labor, ma'am sing a sigi, canvas Gunput University low yarni. So viewers, special talks again, being Taviru Simon Kurum Zavolina, Kanin Vietnamese,